Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, I want to make a different kind of video. Basically, um, different kind of video where I'm like giving my thoughts and opinions on certain characters in the Scream franchise. I'm probably gonna do a few other characters that, from Scream 5 that and what I thought about them and, just give my opinion on certain characters. But me today, I want to specifically talk about, this character. We all know her from Scream 5, Sam. I want to talk about Sam today and basically give my opinions and my thoughts on her character and how she was in Scream 5 and basically give, my opinions as well and on how I think her character could go for in the future with Scream 6 and possibly Scream 7. Like, you know, just talk about, all the possibilities for her in the future, her character, and, just give my thoughts and opinions on that stuff. So, yeah, basically today I want to, just explain um, how I used to feel on, Sam's character and how I feel now. So I want to start off by saying that Sam's character from Scream 5, she was a character that I did not really warm up to at first. Like when I first watched Scream 5, you know, I definitely felt her character was like a little off and a little iffy at times, mainly like with her acting and the way she would act at times. And, she would just seem bland at times and whatnot. So I definitely felt her character, you know, was a little iffy. I just didn't know really how to feel about her. I didn't really warm up to her that much. But that's not to say I ever hated her character because, I never hated her as much as other people. But I definitely felt iffy about her character and I didn't really enjoy her as much. And, you know, I would always, say stuff like, why was Sam so like, she just seemed bland at times. She just seemed like kind of iffy with how she would act and, her acting, and she just seemed like, emotionless, like she had no emotions, like I don't like that's how I felt at first. But I started, after a few rewatches and going back and watching, Scream 5 a couple times and, you know, getting to take in the, certain things that I missed before with certain things as, with certain other things as well. I noticed that, you know, I kind of had, a change in different perspective on Sam's character now, because after like what, I think after the fourth or fifth rewatch of Scream 5, I think, that's when I started to have more of a realization of her character and more of an acceptance towards her character and actually started, appreciating her character for what she was. So, you know, it took me a while to warm up to her character and understand her character, and it just that's how it was for me. And I just want to give my reasonings for why I changed my mind on her character and why I think she's actually a great character and, a great final girl. So I want to start off by saying that and give my number one reason for why I think, you know, I changed my mind on her character and how I felt about her. And I want to give, certain reasonings and explanations. So my number one reasoning and explanation is Sam was taking antipsychotics. And, those kind of, hardcore, drugs and, pills, like, I know that they can affect you in many ways where, on how you act and how you feel, and, you know, it can affect you in those kind of ways where, you may come off as bland and you look emotionless and you don't know how to express your emotions. You look, just you looked and act stale. You just seem robotic, basically. Just, just stiff. And like I know that, antipsychotic, they can affect people in those ways, and, the side effects. And, once I learned that and realized that, I started having more of a, like open mind on her character, and actually started, having a different, point of view on Sam because of that. So I think that, her taking hardcore drugs like that, like how she said, it definitely did affect her, and it definitely affected her with her emotional state, you know, and, just overall how she behaved and how she acted. So I think that, the antipsychotics and, the drugs, the other drugs that she took, that, she told Tara about, that she was taking whenever she ran away. Um, yeah, I think all that really did affect her, and, and how she acted and whatnot. So I think that because of that, I definitely, that was one of the main reasons why I had a different perspective on Sam's character. And, like I said, after I learned that, I started having more of a, different point of view on her, and I started having more appreciation for her. And, that's just me personally. And, another reason, my number two reason for why I feel like she was the way she was, and why, I started appreciating her character more, is because I feel like she was also going through other stuff as well. Like she was already going through, like she finds out, her dad's a serial killer, Billy. She finds out her dad is Billy and he was a serial killer at, a young age. And then, she tells her mom about it. And, she basically finds out that her mom's a cheater. And, her stepdad finds out about it, which is Tara's real dad. He finds out about it, and, he leaves. And, Sam ends up blaming herself for that. And it basically, her mom even hated her, and basically, was basically making it seem like this is all her fault. And, Sam ended up running away, and, getting in trouble, and, doing all kinds of drugs, and basically just trying to cope, with her life and her current state of where she was at, because she was in a bad place. She just, all in one day, she finds out all this stuff, and all this stuff happens, and, it over time it started affecting her throughout the years. And yeah, I think that because of this stuff that she went through, it kind of affected her mentally, and it kind of like took a toll on her, most likely. And I think that, when you go through stuff like that, like traumatic stuff like that, and, you're taking all kinds of drugs and pills and all this stuff to try to cope with it as well, it can affect you and how you act, you know, as time goes by, because, your body is now, being affected by all this stuff, all these drugs and toxins, and, it's affecting you, and, how you act. And it's basically, you know, it can change you negatively like that, where you're not, acting how you would normally act because of all these drugs and stuff that, she was taking. So I totally understand that. And also because, as I was going to say right now as well, is that, when you go through a lot of traumatic stuff like that, I feel like, you know, it affects you emotionally, when you're younger. But as you get older, it's like you could become numb to the you know to the pain that you've went through. And when other stuff reoccurs that is like similar to that, it's like you have no reaction to it as much because you've already been through so much stuff that it's like you don't really know how to express yourself anymore. Like you're just kind of numb to the pain now, like just emotionally, and you don't know how to express yourself anymore. And I feel like Sam, you know, she possibly could have gotten to that point where she just didn't care anymore. Like she, became numb to all the trauma and the pain that she went through and just didn't care. And the drugs probably that she was taking just made it worse. So I think that all that really did take a toll on her as, in her life and just like, for who she was. And, all these things made me have a different perspective on her. And I just think that, you know, because of this, all this stuff, it made me appreciate her character more and understand her more. And, now I have just a better, you know, understanding of her character and who she was. So I think, these two reasons were the main reasons why I had a different point of view on her. But also my number three reason is because I felt like Sam was, you know, not only was she trying to, cope with everything she was going through, but I also think that she, um, she, whenever all this stuff, reoccurred with the Ghostface killings, basically at that point her trauma and her fear, it came back. But it's like at that point she was numb to all this stuff. So she didn't know how to properly express herself whenever all this stuff was happening because this never happened to her before. With Ghostface killers coming out, you know, doing murder sprees and whatnot. Like this never happened to her. So it's like I wouldn't, like me personally, I just feel like, I just see it where like she was taking antipsychotics, right? And then all this stuff after she takes the pills and whatnot, all this ghost face stuff happens. She gets attacked at the hospital. Um, and then like Tara gets attacked at the hospital as well. You know, then all these her all the people she knows around her starts dying. Like I'm pretty sure like she would probably give a better reaction to all this stuff that's happening around her if she wasn't, taking these medications, you know. But you can tell she had some type of fear and initial reaction to this stuff that was going on because whenever, you know, whenever she was attacked at the hospital, she had, yes, she did come off as iffy with her acting, but you got to remember she just took an antipsychotic pill, so I'm sure that was like probably numbing her a little bit. So I think that that was kind of a reason why she didn't know how to fully express herself in that moment, you know, with that happening, that all that she basically got attacked, after she took a pill. That all happened all at once. So her initial reaction, I felt, me personally, was like realistic to me, and I kind of understand that, you know. So I think that, you know, she was being affected, by a lot of other stuff. You can tell, even whenever Wes died, like when she found out that he died, like she had some type of like, you know, like sadness and guilt on her face. Like she looked like she felt bad for what had happened to Wes and whatnot. And yeah, I think that she overall was like just trying to cope with everything that was going on, and she just didn't know how to express herself with, the medication that she was taking. She just felt numb to everything, so she didn't know how to fully express how, you know, her full on emotions from everything that was going on. But you can tell she had some type of reaction to the stuff that was going on, you know? So I think that, yeah, like that, even though she did come off as iffy, you can't really blame her. Like she's still going through a whole bunch of other stuff, like, you know, on and on and on throughout the movie. So it's like, I don't really blame her, for her, not fully knowing how to express herself when all this is just happening all at once. Like, it's just crazy. So I think that also, you know, I think that with Sam's character, she also was a unique type character because she wasn't supposed to be, and this is why I don't really understand why people, complain and they get mad and say like, oh, like Sam is not Sydney, like she's not anywhere near Sydney's level. She's not even she's not the new Sydney and whatnot. Like they say stuff like that, which is, is their opinion. That's fine, but I feel like, you know she was supposed to be like that. She wasn't. I feel like that was done intentionally to make her not really be like a Sydney-esque character. She wasn't supposed to be like Sydney. That I don't think that was the point. Yes, she was supposed to be like somewhat like Sydney, but not exactly. You know, People make the argument that Tara is more of the Sydney because she's like younger and, she's around the age Sydney was, in the original movie, and, she was overall like a quote unquote a better actor. And, I feel like, yes, Tara fits more of the attributes to Sydney as like, her in her own character, in her own, lane. But with Sam, she's in a different direction. That wasn't the point of what they were trying to do with Sam. They weren't trying to make her exactly like Sydney. They were trying to take her into a new direction. And in my opinion, I feel like that was better. I'm glad that she's not like Sydney, because if we would have just got another carbon copy of Sydney, that would just, like, in my opinion, that would just be like, come on, like, why? We don't need a Sydney 2.0. Like, we don't need that. So I'm actually glad that, the main final girl is not like completely just a carbon copy of, a previous, from a previous final girl, which is Sydney from, the older movies. I'm glad that that's not the case. And, I just think that she's great for her own character and her own lane and for who she is. I think she overall plays her character well. And I just think that, I felt like that was just the point. Like, she wasn't supposed to be just the new Sydney and whatnot. Like, that they were trying to go a new direction with her. She was supposed to be someone who was supposed to be taking antipsychotics and was, who finds out that her father's a serial killer and, is basically having, you know, going through all this stuff with, you know, hallucinations and, you know, family, you know, breakups and like I felt like Sam's character wasn't exactly supposed to be like Sydney, and I just felt like that was the point, and I like that new direction they went with Sam. Me personally, I'm glad that she's not just a Sydney 2.0. I'm glad that her character is different in many ways, where she feels like her own character. I just me personally, I'm glad she's just not an exact copy of Sydney. Like we don't need a Sydney 2.0. Because imagine if Sam was exactly like Sydney and acted and did everything exactly like Sydney in Scream 5. She acted like Sydney. She did everything Sydney did in the first one. She, like she, um, heck, even like talked like Sydney. Like I don't know. Like she's not supposed to be just like our carbon copy of Sydney. Like that wasn't the point. She was supposed to be a final girl that was supposed to be her own character. That was her own, you know, different type of unique character that was not the same as someone else. They were trying to take her into a different direction, and I just think that it's great for for her character Sam. And what I said earlier as well, I want to speak on because I know some people are gonna take what I said earlier the wrong way about Tara being like Sydney, and me saying that you know me kind of like mocking the people who say like she's just a quote unquote good actor. I'm not trying to mock people like I'm not trying to mock people who say she's a good actor because I thought Jenna Ortega is a fantastic actor and she was great as Tara. I liked Tara as a character and she was honestly a very good final girl in her own right. And I liked Tara, but all I'm trying to say is that I think Sam is good in her own right, and Tara is also good in her own right. I'm not trying to sit here and compare the two, and try to start a competition over this. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, I think they're both good in their own right for who they are as characters. You know, they went through stuff in Scream 5 that yeah, but they're not exactly the same characters, and I feel like that's the point, and I think that's good in my opinion. And if Tara is more like Sydney, then if anything, she's more of the Sydney 2.0. And like you said, I don't really think that we need a Sydney 2.0. Just because like no one's gonna be Sydney first of all. Like no one's gonna be you know what Sydney was in the first three movies and even in the fourth movie. Nobody, and the fifth one, because Sydney is a character who, we all grew up and love, and no one's gonna replace her. No one is gonna ever fill in those shoes and be a better final girl than Sydney. Um, at least for this franchise, like no one's gonna just be replace Sydney and be a carbon copy of her and be better than her or be the same as her. Like no, that's not gonna happen. They can have similarities, like whether if it's Tara or whoever has they can have similarities to Sydney, but they're never gonna be better though. they're never gonna reach that level of just of who Sydney was as a character and how, specifically Nev Campbell, played the character and what she brought to the table whenever, she had, done that character for the Scream franchise. Like no one's ever gonna top that. So I think that, with if Tara really is like just, if she's the new Sydney, then I don't really think that, that's really necessary. We don't need a, you know, Sydney 2.0, like in my opinion. I just think that, you know, we don't really need to have a character that's exactly similar to an older character because they're like I said, no one's ever gonna top Sydney. You know, no one's ever gonna be the new Sydney and whatnot. No one's gonna ever top that. So I think that's just me personally. You know, I just that's just how I feel. And that's not to say I don't like Tara as a character, because like I said, I do like Tara as a character. She's an amazing character. She was one of my favorite characters in Scream 5. And like yeah, I really like Tara, and I thought Jenna Ortega, she was, fantastic. And she wasn't just great in Scream, but she was great in many other, horror movies I saw. Jenna Ortega. And Jenna Ortega is an amazing actor. But I just think that, Tara, if she is an exact copy, if she is a Sydney 2.0, then, that doesn't really make her character necessarily better. It's more of just kind of a carbon copy. But, at the end of the day, like I said, I still like her character. And I don't think her character will exactly be a carbon copy of Sydney either. But I'm just saying that mainly to the people who say that she's more of the, you know, new Sydney. That's basically who I'm basically mainly saying that to. So, yeah, I think that um, like Sam and Tara are both good as characters in their own right for who they are. So I don't really think that, there really needs to be comparisons and like just, you know, people saying, oh no, Sam was better. No, Tara was better. Because at the end of the day, I think they're both great, and I'm glad they're both going to be in Scream 6 as final girls together. They're both, you know, great characters that I think that, they're great for who they are. And I'm glad they're going to be our new final girls now, heading on out. So, yeah, I can't wait to see, you know, Sam and Tara in Scream 6. And, Sam specifically, I don't know what they're going to have for her character in Scream 6, but, me personally, I can't wait. I can't wait to see what she can bring to the table, what kind of character she'll be like in Scream 6. Will she overcome all the stuff she's been through? Like, me personally, I'm just excited to see her in Scream 6. And like I said, everyone has the right to their opinion. If you disagree with me and you think that Sam was like a terrible character, she doesn't deserve to be a final girl, that's perfectly fine. That's your opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. But this is just my opinion. This is how I feel, so this that's that. Um, that's pretty much all I have to say. I think that Sam as a final girl, she's great. And, I'm glad that, she's, I'm glad that she's a final girl. Me personally, I liked her. And, I can't wait to see her in Scream 6. So, yeah, I just think that overall, I think that, I've heard many other people, say the same things that I have said, like, they expressed how, they once hated or like, just not hated, but I've heard other people, they express how, they didn't really like her character at first, but they warmed up to her after a while because they started to realize these things that I explained in this video. Like they realized these things on why her character was the way she was, and they had a different, perspective now on her character, and they actually like her. I've heard many other people say that before. So, you know, even though it seems like everyone hates her character and like everyone just like, you know, everyone just despises Sam and, just does not like her at all. I think that overall there's still people out there that do like her. There's definitely still people out there who like her and appreciate her as a character. So yeah, I just think that Sam is one of those characters where, she's really a 50-50. And I feel like the main reason she gets as much flack is mainly because people are comparing her to Sydney. And I just feel like, there's no need to compare her to Sydney. Because she's her own character. She wasn't supposed to be like Sydney. I feel like that's basically what we're trying to establish. And that's what, you know, why they didn't exactly make her like Sydney. And I'm glad because I don't want just a carbon copy of Sydney, like I said. So yeah, this is just how I feel. I've been rambling for a while now, so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment on what other videos I should make. I said I was gonna make a Halloween video. I think like my last video. I said at the end of my last video, I said that I was gonna make another Halloween video. I might do that tomorrow, but yeah, I just wanted to make this video first because I felt like I just wanted to really make this video to give my I just really I was thinking of making this video for a while, so I kind of just wanted to put it out there already. So yeah, I made this video, but I'm definitely gonna make the Halloween video most likely tomorrow and upload it. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.